Okay, why did you first become interested in finance?
It's hard to say. I mean, I guess I moved from accounting into a finance job, and then I just liked the job.
Okay. What did you go to school for, and did you ever think you would end up where you are today?
I went to school first for accounting and then a graduate degree in finance. And when I started the program, I didn't think I'd wind up teaching. But then as I got close to graduation from the program, I still didn't think about teaching. But I started working more heavily in finance after graduating with an MBA in finance. And then in one of the companies I worked for, they had a training, sort of like a small training college within the business. And I started working a few hours training other employees about finance and basic accounting. And then that's how I discovered that I like teaching. And so that's why I pursued a position at the College of Business to teach.
Okay. How did you become the finance program director at Stony Brook?
Let's see. In the beginning, there was no finance program here. So when they found out that students were interested in studying finance, they came to me to set up a program. So once the program was set up, they asked me just to be the director of it, which means just maintain it and answer questions about it and work on the curriculum and keep it competitive. Right. So it was really just an evolution of the school developing courses and then a program in finance.
Did it take a long time to create the program, or did it seem like it happened?
No, I mean, me and Professor Mark Palermo just sat down and we put together a couple new classes and outlined the concentration in finance that we thought would be beneficial to students.
Okay. Next question. What does someone in your position do? You kind of answered the question already.
In my position, I do a varying amount of tasks. Well, one, of course, I teach. Two, I guide and manage the curriculum to make sure it's up to date, consistent, and related to what students need to know in order to perform well in a job.
Right.
Three, I evaluate and monitor the teaching activities of the faculty and the adjuncts to make sure that they're doing a good job and that students are pleased with what they're learning in their teaching styles. And four, I just attend a lot of meetings to keep the school running as far as daily tasks of administrative work with programs, curriculum, assessment, accreditation, things of that nature.
Okay. What is a typical day like?
Typical day is I come in around 9 a.m. I usually teach 1 or 2 classes. Then I'll hold office hours, meet with students, help them with homeworks or concepts, or new students that are interested in the program. Attend a few meetings, faculty meetings, special committees, hiring committees, things of that nature. And then work on some research or projects towards the end of the day.
Okay.
I get some free time. And a lot of the day is spent answering emails.
Yeah. What classes do you teach?
I teach, in the undergraduate school, I teach finance, investments, and financial engineering.
Okay.
In the graduate school, I'll teach finance, computational finance, investments, organizational behavior, international management, and business strategy.
It's a lot. Do you prefer undergrad or grad, or does it not?
It depends. A lot of times I like the undergraduates because they're very eager to learn and to start their careers.
Right.
And sometimes I prefer the graduate students because they're a little bit more advanced, so they challenge me a little bit more as far as what I'm teaching and questions they have for me, and they're a little bit more motivated to do things like read the textbook and think about what the course is and ask questions.
Yeah. What do you find to be a common academic interest among the students that you have in the finance? Like, are they interested in math usually, or more like money, I assume, is probably a big interest.
A lot of the students are interested in getting a good job.
Right.
So they're a business student not so much because it's their passion, but they feel that they can utilize it well after graduation.
Right.
They could get a job, or they can marry it up with a passion. Open a business in an area that they're interested in, or work in a field that they're interested in. That business, because business touches everything.
Right.
So, and a lot of students they're not exactly sure what to study. So business is sort of an easy thing to get into and be involved with without making without really limiting your future.
Yeah.
So if you're not exactly sure what major you want, you can get into business and still minor in another area or two other areas, and then decide whether or not we want to continue with business or move into the other area you want to specialize in. But the business never hurts, because it's every aspect of every job is going to involve business.
Right.
And it's going to enhance your ability to do more of what you love.
Yeah. Is it good to have a strong background in math when you're in the finance field, or does it not matter?
No, it's very critical
to
be strong in math, statistics, algebra, calculus. All these things help in interpreting and understanding the financial problems. So the better quantitative skills you have, generally the more successful you are in finance.
Good to know. I'm going to double major in AMS. So.
That's actually, AMS is one of the best majors to double major with business.
How do you contribute to the growth of the finance specialization at Stony Brook?
Well, one way I contribute is thinking about and designing new courses. I also contribute by working with students to figure out, and employers to figure out what their needs are, to help incorporate some of that financial knowledge and learning inside the classes so they're more successful on the job. What else? I guess just generally meeting with students and helping them to answer questions and prepare them for a career, which leads to their success upon graduation is the college's success as they get better positions and they do well and hopefully at some point contribute back to the school.
Right. Is it difficult to create, if a student had an idea for a new class and they talk to someone like you about it, how difficult or what do you need to create a new class?
Well, for me to create a new class, it has to be a concept that's going to be worthwhile for students to take. It's going to benefit them in the working world.
Right.
So, and in finance, new subjects come up, or sometimes, for example, recently students were very interested in working for mergers and acquisition area, and they wanted to have a little bit more coursework because a lot of investment banks were looking to hire, or capital groups in mergers and acquisition areas. So we put together courses at the graduate and undergraduate level in mergers and acquisition to help with this demand, where students are looking to get jobs.
Okay, interesting. What is a good reason for a student to go into the finance specialization?
The best reason is that they're really interested in finance. They're interested in investments or banking, or they just have a keen interest. They like to read articles about it. It excites them in some way. And that would be a good reason to go in to be involved with it. It would be a mistake to force yourself into a finance program if you don't have a lot of interest in it, or don't find the readings or the work within it inspiring and motivational.
Right. That's understandable. Is there anything else you want to include about the finance specialization at all? Anything important?
I think that it's important that students always continue their education. So if they take the undergraduate finance concentration, they only need 4 electives, which I would encourage students to take additional electives if they can in the area, or consider asking their professors for additional reading or additional sources of material in the finance area that they can continue with after school, or even during their school, to kind of get them to be as knowledgeable about finance as possible.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.